is a CBS 42 weather update.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark Prater. Well, I'd say I hope you're having a great Tuesday, but as many of you are probably stuck somewhere, not able to move very much, just wanted to give you an update on what's going on with the weather right now, and it is a mess around Birmingham and much of Jefferson County southward into Shelby and even Chilton counties. A lot to talk about. Let's start off with our view, though, and you can see that traffic is crawling right now roughly down, I believe that is Valley Avenue, and yeah, that's Valley right there, and folks are having a tough time getting up hills and down hills. I've seen a number of accidents, mainly fender benders, because folks are sliding. And one thing I can't emphasize enough is use that lower gear that your car or truck has. Use the one that says 2 or L on it. This is the time that you use it. Whenever you see that, a lot of times you're thinking, hey, you know what, I don't ever use that. I don't have a reason to. Well, this is your reason to, because traffic is going to be moving slow. You want to move slow, and your transmission is geared for that, to move slower and also to climb. So that's why you use those lower gears. And I just strongly urge that no one really try to get out on the roads if you don't have to, because it is just an absolute nightmare on the roadways. I can attest to that, because I just got off of them, and that's all I can recommend is just certainly do not get out if you don't have to, if it's not an emergency, because we have a lot of folks who are out there trying to get around, and it's just become a disaster as far as driving. Not literally, but figuratively, and in some cases, some folks aren't even moving. Let's go out to the graphics. Here's what's going on. We've got temperatures now at 19 degrees. It is 21 in Anniston and Tuscaloosa. It is 14 in Hamilton. Here's our problem. Traditionally, once we start to get snow around here, it's a little easier to have it not only melt, but get off of the roadways much quicker, and that is not going to be the case because of the fact temperatures are so cold. Normally, we can heat the roadways up with travel, and there will be some of that as we get later into the day, but the snow has been very persistent. And something I want to point out, this is really important, and a lot of folks, when you watch snow, snow can be very, very challenging to forecast. If you live in the Midwest or, say, the Ohio Valley, the Northeast, if a forecast is off by 50 miles, it's not that big of a deal when you're dealing with snow. But when you're dealing with Alabama, well, that's a big difference, and that snow has started to accumulate and has actually become pretty heavy right now around the downtown Birmingham metro area. I want to show you a couple of different things. The brighter white that you see right now that's moving through Vestavia Hills and over downtown Birmingham, that is the heaviest snow band at this point. That's where everything's kind of wedging together and starting to really, a lot of that moisture is getting compressed into one small area, and in turn, we start to get some of the snowfall in heavier bands. And most of this is very dry snowfall, and that's very important because of the fact it's not as wet. It will be easier to get off of the roadways as we get a little later into this afternoon and this evening. I would bet offhand once all of this stops, we'll start to see that progression of roads becoming a little less treacherous, but still very dangerous out there. Where we've got spots where water is standing, it melts, or the snow melts, and it becomes ice very quickly, so you have to keep that in mind. But if you look, you can see that right here, that's the heaviest band. On the north side, snow is starting to wrap up back into Walker and back into Jefferson County, and then we have a little back building. So there's our problem. The snow just won't leave just yet. It's getting close, though, and this whole system will quickly move towards the east throughout the day. And Denise, you told me we have Mike Carter with the EMA, and he's here in Jefferson County. Mike, I've been out there on the roads. Folks don't need to be out there. Obviously, it's very treacherous. What can you tell us?
Right. We're getting reports of different accidents and stuff like that. We would like for the citizens to get off the roads as quickly as possible, stay home, not get out. This allows the trucks to get out. The state, I know, is out. The county is out. The cities are out trying to sand, but if we get the pileups of vehicles out there, it makes it very difficult for them to try to clear the streets.
You know, and that's one thing that when you have a snow, which is about the amount we anticipated, like we have, hey, Mike, you know as well as I do here, I mean, we get half an inch of snow and you've got a ground that is this frozen from last night's very cold temperatures. It's going to take a little bit of time for these roads to really become passable again.
Correct, and you know, to get the trucks out and to put down the chemicals and the materials that they need to, you know, we need to get the roads cleared as quickly as possible. So if the citizens are at home, please stay at home, or if you're at work, you know, hopefully you can stay there. You know, you've got some kind of plan in place to handle this.
Well, absolutely, and I know that you've hit on a couple of very important points. One, we've got to get the trucks out there, and two, emergency personnel. Those are folks that have to get to people who are in urgent need. And are there any particular roadways that you're seeing that are actually probably the biggest trouble? I know that Valley and 20th Street, it's an absolute standstill in most spots along there. Do you have any other areas, interstates? What can you tell us?
I had seen earlier that I-65 northbound at about Alford Avenue was having effects, and I've talked with State DOT. They are out sanding and putting down the chemicals that they need to. I know on that one, but basically about all the road systems are having issues. Just got a report from Hueytown that they've got issues out there in Hueytown. So it really doesn't matter where you're at in Jefferson County. I think the roads are going to be fairly unstable.
Right. And we're looking live right now at the I-65 and Alford Avenue Department of Transportation camera here. And well, we see that traffic is creeping along, but you can imagine that traffic is a problem. We have a rig that is pulled off to the side here. It looked like it was beginning to jackknife. Those are problems that we will run into throughout the course of the evening. And how long would you anticipate that it takes for the county trucks to hit a lot of the major thoroughfares and a lot of our roads?
That is a good question. I'm not exactly sure how many trucks the county has got out or state has got out.
Okay.
You know, right now, I couldn't give you an idea, you know.
Sure.
But the major roads will be the first ones that they will get. Then they will get into the secondary and tertiary roads.
Okay.
You know, as time permits and you know, trying to get things open.
Okay. Mike, thanks so much. I know you're as busy as we are here, and we'll let you get back to work. And thanks for your time, and we'll touch base with you a little bit later.
All righty. Thank you.
We're going to join Katie Muse, who does our traffic for us here on Wake Up Alabama, here on CBS 42. And Katie, we're talking right before we went on the air. There's so many places that you could highlight, but let's try to hit some of those that are probably the most important to people who are commuting now.
Yes, Mark, you said it. If you don't have to be on the roads, then don't. Pretty much everywhere right now in Birmingham is a problem area. Traffic is just crawling, and there are a number of fender benders. Some of the big ones right now, there's a jackknifed tractor trailer that's on Hugh Daniel Drive at Bray Trail. This is affecting both directions. Pretty much with every accident right now, it's going to be affecting both directions. We've got that stalled tractor trailer 65 southbound between 6th Avenue North and Green Springs Avenue. Alford Avenue at Shady Brook Lane, there's an accident there. Traffic's not looking pretty. 65 northbound at Highway 31 in Hoover, big problems there. I mean, traffic is just a mess. Everywhere you go right now, we look horrendous all over. It is chaos right now. Highway 31, especially on the Red Mountain Expressway, both northbound and southbound, traffic is moving really slow right now. Another accident, 65 northbound at 459. There are just huge problems all over right now. We've got some road closures in Tuscaloosa. Watermelon Road is closed. That's at the dam due to ice. In Anniston, Greenbrier Road is shutting down. All Hale County roads are closed, and all streets and roads within the city limits of Anniston are closed right now. Traffic is a huge problem at this point. If you are on the roads or if you know someone who is, pull off to the side and out of traffic. There are police, fire, and ambulance just trying to get to these accidents and get stuff cleared up, so you need to move out of the way and just avoid everything and just avoid being on the roads right now. Mark?
Great points. Thanks so much, Katie. And, one thing I want to emphasize, if you're at home right now and you're watching, snow's fun to watch. Trust me, I know it's exciting to have here in Alabama. And if you get enough in your yard, you can certainly enjoy it. But the travel concerns, obviously, are the main focus right now, as well as the temperatures. And I can tell you that if you're waiting on someone to get home, maybe coming from work or school, give them some time. I know all the cell phones are busy right now. I couldn't even get through to our station on the way in this morning. So just be patient. Everybody's working slowly, but the process is in motion. Now let's go out live to, right now, Chris Womack, who's out there in the parking lot. Chris, wow, yeah, I mean, you got a lot of snow on you right there. But realistically, we're only looking at about a half an inch, if folks can actually believe that.
Yeah, Mark, it's as you might be able to see behind me, the snow has kind of calmed down a little bit. It was coming down a lot heavier earlier, but just standing out here for about 10-15 minutes, this is what I got. And you can also see the accumulation on my car right now. It came down very, very quickly, and I can tell you when I was coming into work, I started getting ready about 9:30, peeked out my window, my street looked fine. 30 minutes later, when I was ready to leave, I looked out and there was a thin layer of snow, and I had to come up that Red Mountain Expressway that Katie was talking about, and I can tell you it was already, an hour ago, starting to get a little scary. So, you, Katie, Mike, you all said it, if you don't have to get out, don't, because the snow, it's still falling, and just give it time. Give it time. Eventually, it will stop. Mark, back to you.
And that's a great point, is we are going to wrap this up here pretty soon as far as the snowfall goes, but right there, that tells the story. Fortunately, the accidents are not that bad, but when roads become impassable like this, at times you're just stuck. So that's why we really try to emphasize, try not to get home right away, or try not to head to your location that you had to go to. Unfortunately, this is just part of living in the South and dealing with the snow that we do, and when it does happen, we just aren't as prepared as many of our northern states are, and that right there is a perfect example, and we're getting a couple of shots there on the phone, but I was traveling 280 up near the summit. It's just almost impassable unless you get into the lower gear, and that's what those are for. And if you're talking to folks, maybe you got a family member or a friend you're going to talk to here in a few moments who are maybe stuck, tell them to use that lower gear nice and slow, and that transmission will help to walk them out of a spot that would probably be almost impassable with just regular gear shifting or in drive. All right, let's go back out. I want to do a quick run through of what we got here as far as the snowfall. As Chris mentioned, we're getting a break from the snow right now around the Birmingham metro area. Still a few flurries in Tuscaloosa, but the heavier bands of snow, which have consolidated right now across southern Jefferson back into Shelby counties, well, that is the spot that we're going to have to ride out for another 10 to 15 minutes. And a little closer look, let's just go ahead and get right in here. We're going to show you what's going on. Here is the 459 corridor, Vestavia Hills, Hoover, all of these spots. As Katie mentioned, these are just bad areas to try to drive right now. If you don't have to, if it's not an emergency, wait it out. Trust me, we are going to we're going to get through this here pretty soon. Let's go ahead and take that live shot, though. We do have a tower camera, which we were going to bring up for you there. And you know what? That's a little hot. Let me back that guy down just a touch. But it's a light covering of snow out there. And certainly we're looking at a light snow cover, about a half an inch to maybe an inch right now over downtown Birmingham and surrounding areas. Here's some video that Will Raines has been shooting over there, and this is the spot I was talking about, going up 280 by the summit. And folks are trying to get up the hill. Front-wheel drive cars obviously do a little better than rear-wheel, but there are just, if you stop and you're on an incline, you may have trouble moving, period. And a few of the folks there, including Will Raines, our photographer, taking the safe side of things and deciding just to wait it out, and he's getting us these shots here. But this was a look from his GoPro earlier today. And the snow is very dry. I mentioned that earlier, but that is important. We're not necessarily looking at a lot of moisture attached to this snow flurry. When you have drier, more powder-like snow, it is easier to, a lot of times, blow off of the roadways. But unfortunately, we've had so much in such a short order. That's what's helped to really create the ice pack right up under this quarter to a half an inch of snowfall that we've had so far. So that in turn has really been our biggest problem. But we are watching this very carefully, and of course there's tons of information coming in. You can always find out much more at CBS42.com. Katie and I, as well as our entire news team here at CBS 42, Gene Norman, as well as Ted McInerney with me here in the Weather Center, we will be updating you throughout the course of the morning. And again, if you don't have to get out on the roads, just wait a couple of hours. Things should start to improve gradually around our area. For now, we're going to take you back to programming. There's the mess, and we'll have more for you. Stay with us here at CBS 42.